So did I hear you say that you want to stay in the town?
Yes, ma'am.
But the Dabney site would be more preferred for several reasons?
Yeah.
There was one other property that I received a phone call about from a citizen, Mrs. Slusser, who lives in North Carolina now, and it's back in back of the park.
Matthews.
Matthews Park,
25 acres.
land up there belongs to Bob Slusser.
Okay.
The entrance would be off Fifth Street.
That's up near the interstate. It's getting up toward there.
Yeah, it's
Is it kind of uphill?
Yeah, it's fairly, I mean, well, like I say, 20-some acres.
25 acres,
There's probably, I used to play it when I was a kid, I'd say it's probably half a dozen acres just off of the park, off of Matthews Park. But you'd almost have to have an entrance into the thing from Fifth Street, which is right in front of Joe Anderson's monument.
It's actually 6th.
No, that would be Sixth Street.
I mean, Fifth Street is
Sixth Street.
Stop it.
It's an awful narrow street.
Huh?
Sixth Street is awful narrow.
Well, Sixth Street, you know.
There isn't any street.
There is no street.
I go up it all the time when I'm up police supplies.
I mean, I'll
It would be wide.
You'd have to put a bridge across it.
I'll
That's the
reiterate
most
it again. I'm interested in 2 sites, at the Ingalls Street site and the Hickory Street site at the town.
Well, I think-
That's my concern.
I think that there's 2 things that everybody else sitting at this table can agree with. One is the rescue squad deserves and probably needs a new building.
Yes.
I think we all agree with that. I think the other thing is that we need to help you. We need to find you a spot. This idea of letting you just figure it out yourself, it's not our problem, Sheriff. That day is gone. We need to find you something that you like and we like and everybody's going to be happy.
I agree.
Well, I'd like to have some idea of the minimum amount of land y'all would need. Would y'all could get a guy with 2 acres of land?
I mean, I don't know. I would have to talk to the contractor. I was hoping I could have him here tonight to kind of help us along the way, but like I said, he wasn't available. So, I mean, if this building that we have drawn out will fit on 2 acres, fine and dandy. But I don't want to say yes and then cut it short either.
No, I
So,
don't want to be cut short.
That was going to be my question on what the size of this undisturbed area for future growth was. Do you know when you did this map? Or was there
I
any
think
way
right
to-
off, it would be easy, somewhat easy to get an estimation on it, but like you said, until we go back and work with the contractor, I wouldn't want to jump too much.
And then how important is that? Would be my follow-up question to that, to have additional space for undetermined area for future growth
I mean, I don't.
at this point.
I don't see it being a big, I mean, as long as we get everything that we want and need, and as far as parking and the whole 9 yards, you know, I'm not opposed to something else. I mean, 3 acres would fit us great, so that's kind of what I stuck with.
Because I agree with Dr. Goins. I mean, I think that it's an important service to our community, and there has to be a solution that we all need to.
Would you still be interested in Hickory up on the, where you asked for our permission at on Chestnut to Hickory? Would you still be interested in that? I mean, not even trading land, but to buy it straight out.
Okay. As long as we don't get 2 acres that we can't use, you know, to get rid of, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the other item out there. If it was to happen, I think my personal feeling is that land at this stage of the game, with that big road that went in, that gives y'all total access.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. The other thing is, whether you need 3 acres or not, because that land, if we can develop it like we want to, that's going to be a very valuable piece of property there.
Right.
So an acre is a whole lot of land when you start
Oh, yeah.
put some type of.
I mean, I will be more than happy to take that back and say, will this building fit on 2 acres?
Well, I'm just going by.
Oh,
How big is that
I
site,
guarantee you.
Tom? How big is that site?
13.
13 acres, 11 acres, something like that.
Well, the 2 acres that was going to Kroger, so that's out now, so that's back in the package again. But still, it seems to me that that's one of the very few viable spots that we have in town as far as the development. I raised the devil years ago about that, because they want to go out there and put public works out there. And I said, no, that ain't gonna happen, because I got anything to do with it. So anyway, we decided not to do that, thanks to Ms. Birchman, and we went back and put up an adequate building on this whole site that's up there that serves the mission very well, really. So what we have, we still have all that land available out there.
Now, I have an additional question, and this has been asked of me by some town residents, and that is, why is it that the fire department and our rescue squad are not together? Why can they not share a facility?
Like for us to go in the fire department?
For the fire department to be extended to hold your vehicles, and the rescue squad and the fire department share the community room, share the bathroom, share the whatever facilities.
Because we're not a part of the town, so.
I know you're not, and I guess that's my question, why not?
That
Because
was,
they were separate.
they were broke off from the fire department in 1945, so I couldn't answer that. I just know that we're separate, so we've been that way.
There is another piece of property on Hickory, that's immediately adjacent to the Easy Pass building that is owned by Intellos.
Yes.
That's probably a mirror size to the parcel that Easy Pass is currently on. I don't know if you all ever looked at that. I don't know if Antelos would be interested, but that's a fairly.
They owned it. Everything,
Yeah, that's a pretty
everything that I
flat
saw
site.
on Google Maps is a town owned it. So I didn't even know that.
What is it, about 3 acres?
Yeah. It's a mirror site to the one that was developed for Easy Pass. In fact, the parking lot was actually constructed to eventually provide parking if they decided to put another building there, because that building was originally an Antelos building, and it's currently being leased to the Easy Pass group. But that's a flat piece of land, and we certainly haven't seen Antelos do anything with it, you know, over the years.
Is that
As
just
far as
south of the
Google Maps, it says it's
Intellis
tiny.
building?
I'm sorry?
That just south of the Intellis building?
Yes, well,
Yeah.
just south of where the Easy Pass is, on that
Yeah.
same side of the street, yes, sir.
I didn't mind, I would give
Yeah,
them.
I run that route all the time.
I sit right behind Oak Hill Apartments. So it's
Now, you do have, if you went in there, you would have, how do you get out? Do you go on Hickory? Is that how you get out?
To get out, you come right down that main road, the $2 million road we got to put in there.
It's called Hickory Avenue Extended. It would be Hickory.
At Hickory Avenue, it'll come around and down the hill.
So they wouldn't have to go up on Oak,
No.
Chestnut, and then go down by Kroger?
One day. They could work something out.
That'd be a good route.
Oh, I would. I'm not opposed to working with the town on some property. I wanted to do that 3 years ago.
Well, I think at that time, when we first had that discussion, the trouble was no one was aware of this wetland business and all these other things that came into play. And the idea was to keep as much land for development as we could keep. Now, this is different, you know, a little different ballgame now. Wetlands, it's not a wetland. It still may have problems as far as building on it is concerned. They have to be filled or whatever needs to be done.
If you're building would bid on 2 acres of land, and the wetlands was, I think it's a ½ acre where people were checking into to see if it is. And would you buy the 2 acres and the wetlands be on there and leave it open for the schools to, you know, do their thing with it? Develop the other part and leave that part on.
So you're talking about the wetland being incorporated into the 2 acres?
In the 2 acres.
No.
Instead of the
No,
side.
I don't know that that's going to be big enough. I mean, if you got the wetlands is going to be however much, that leaves us, you know, an acre to build on.